Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so excited to have a conversation with actor and writer Michael Cyril Creighton. You've seen Michael in Orange is the New Black, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Dash and Lily, High Maintenance, Dexter, New Blood, and so much more. He also guest starred in one of my favorite shows, New Amsterdam. Currently, Michael stars in another one of my favorite shows, the Hulu series Only Murders in the Building. Thank you so much for being on my show. I am so excited to be talking with you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you. I can't believe you're a New Amsterdam fan. Nobody's ever even remembered I've been on that.
Oh, of course, I would remember that. I watched that show like through the whole run. I watched it every single week. It
Oh,
is
wow.
one of my favorites.
Oh, good.
Um, so, what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
What small thing on a daily basis? That's such a good starting question. My dog, 100% gives me so much joy. Her name's Sharon. She's a rescue.
Oh,
We thought she was a Jack Russell Chihuahua because that's what she looks like. But we got her DNA tested and she's a Lhasa Apso Jack Russell, which makes no sense to me, but that's what it
yeah.
says. But it does make a little sense because they say that Lhasa Apsos are aloof, and she's a very aloof dog. She's sort of like a cat. She's like a little bit cuddly, and then she'll turn her head and like not look at you for a little while. She's
Oh,
very sweet, but she gives me great joy during the day, and the day to day. My friends, my husband, music and theater. Those are all things. Art. Those are all things that I really enjoy, and I'm really lucky that I live in New York and get to experience a lot of that.
yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So who do you most admire and how has that impacted the way you live your life?
Uh, I admire a lot of people, and I mean, first off, my mom, who is had me when she was very young, and was very strong and tenacious and supportive, and made a really great life for herself and me, and against all odds. And I really find that to be really inspiring because she did it, and it wasn't easy. So my mom, probably number one. And my number one inspiration as an actor has always been Madeline Kahn. I don't know if you know her, but she was in this
Yeah,
movie Clue, one of my all-time
yeah.
favorites. Um, she passed away a long time ago, but her movies are so mean so much to me. I love her style of comedy. I love the way she approaches text. She's always like a little bit dark, even when there's comedy involved. So I love her. So she's a big inspiration as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So do you have any irrational fears?
Yeah, probably a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm always afraid of saying the wrong thing. I'm getting better with that as I get older. But when I was younger, I would be horrible at an interview like this because I'd be so afraid of saying the wrong thing or sounding silly or something. So that was something that I've really worked on moving past. But sometimes it creeps back in, you know.
Yeah.
And I am afraid of driving. I don't drive. Ever since I was young, I've had nightmares. And now this is crazy because now there's those cars that drive themselves. There's no one in the front seat.
Yeah.
There's some of them in LA where there's no driver. You just get in a car and it drives you wherever you have to go.
Yeah.
But I used to have nightmares about being stuck in the back seat of a car with no driver and going down a hill. So I'm
Mm.
rationally afraid of driving a car.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit tricky when I have to when they ask me if I can drive on a set because I do have a license, but I'm really bad at it.
Yeah. Yeah, the self-driving cars freak me out. I
No
don't
way.
trust them.
Me neither, never.
Yeah. It's also so creepy to look over and not see anybody in the car.
No, no,
And
it's my worst nightmare.
yeah,
And oh yeah, when
yeah,
you look and there's just no one, the car's just driving next
yeah.
to you. Where do you
Yeah.
live? You live in Denver? Is that what I read?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any self-driving cars there yet?
Um, yeah, I actually don't know. I go to LA a lot, so I've seen them in LA, but I
Yeah.
haven't really seen them here in
Yeah.
Denver.
Fingers crossed they don't make it there. They're scary.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
Self-doubt, sort of feeling not worthy, and self-doubt would be the best way to put it, I think. I think for a long time I was convinced that things that make me inherently me and make me inherently different and unique, for a while I thought were detriments and were going to get in the way of me having the career that I wanted. Whether it be like being effeminate or being chubby or being, a little quirky, I guess would be a base, like, simple word to say. But I always thought for a while I thought that was going to get in the way of me getting what I wanted as an actor and getting where I wanted to be as an actor. And then once I started embracing who I was and stopped trying to do what I thought people wanted me to do in auditions and in productions, I think it really opened a door for me when I started embracing who I am as a person and who what I can bring,
Yeah.
specifically as an actor, to roles. So getting over that self-doubt and self-judgment and insecurity, which is always there. I mean, I'm always a little bit secretly nervous and insecure underneath stuff, but you got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So but I would say self-doubt is the thing that I've worked the hardest to overcome.
Yeah.
It's going okay right
Oh.
now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I can totally relate to that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that it's you're doing better with the overcoming it. And
Yeah,
I think
it's hard. It's like, but it's
yeah.
my friend Bridget always says, Bridget Everett, I don't know if you've ever seen her
Yeah.
show, Somebody Somewhere. She's one of the best.
Yeah, I
But
love
her,
her.
like, yeah, dreams don't have deadlines is
Yeah.
her motto. And it's such a great motto because it's like, okay, maybe I wasn't ready to
Yeah.
be this. I wasn't ready when I was in my 20s to totally embrace
Yeah.
who I was and ready for the success and ready for all the opportunities that I have now in my 40s. So sometimes it takes time and dreams don't have deadlines.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's awesome. That's such a good
Yeah.
phrase. I think she borrowed it from
Yeah.
LL Cool J. Are you
Oh,
watching her show this season?
I haven't seen I've seen a couple episodes of the show and I'm going
Yeah,
back and rewatch and
yeah.
watching
It's a
it
good one.
in the entirety. She is in I really like the episodes I've seen. I
Yeah.
really love the show and she's in one of my all-time favorite movies,
What movie?
Little Evil.
Oh, I never saw it. What is it? What is it?
It's with Adam Scott and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's a horror comedy and it's like one of the funniest movies
I will watch
ever.
it.
I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, great. I'll watch it.
Yeah. Oh yay. Yeah, I would love to know what you think.
I like a horror comedy, so I feel
Yeah.
like it's right up my alley, and I like Adam Scott a lot. So
Yeah.
we got some good
Okay.
points on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when it came out, I was at first like skeptical to watch it because I don't like horror movies.
Mhm.
But then after watching it, I was like, okay, this isn't like really, it's really just like a dark comedy. It's so funny.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so, who do you consider to be the gold standard when it comes to acting and storytelling?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Sometimes I'm fearful to like pick one person because I think that, there's so many people that to me are the gold standard in different areas of this business. I would say before he passed away, I thought Philip Seymour Hoffman was a major gold standard. Everything he touched was just golden. I thought every role had so much humanity and so much soul, and where he was such a unique performer. So for me, I aspire to even just be a fraction of as good as he is as a character actor, and what he brought to his work. So he's someone one of the people that I would think is a gold standard.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. So what is your favorite way to procrastinate?
Mm. I love to walk. I take really long walks, but I also my favorite way to procrastinate is just to watch YouTube videos.
Um,
Like, I'll be on
yeah.
YouTube and waste way too much time watching cooking videos and things like that. But the best way to procrastinate, the healthiest way for me to procrastinate, is to take a long walk. That's what I like to do.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are most proud of?
Yeah, I would say I'm the most proud of the movie Spotlight, which was was really one of the first feature films that I did, and certainly one of those powerful stories that I got to help tell. Um, it's a movie about, I don't know if you have seen it, but it's about the Catholic Church and the abuse that was covered up, and the journalist that uncovered the cover up. And I got to play a real person who was one of the survivors of abuse. His name was Joe Crowley. We got to meet, we got to become very good friends over the year that we waited for the movie to come out. I got to watch the movie with him for the first time, which was really special. He taught me a lot about myself. He taught me a lot about resilience. He taught me a lot about a lot of things. I mean, the performance wouldn't have been what it was without knowing him. He was such a funny person and such a special person. And so I think that is something I'm probably the most proud of because of everything around it, just the importance of the story, the relationships that I made when we were making the film. Some of the people are still very good friends of mine to this day. Um, and it was, one of those it was a small movie, even though it was a lot of big names in it, that sort of really reached a lot of people, ended up winning the Academy Award. It was really the thing I'm the most proud of being part of, and it really sort of started my career in a bigger way.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I am pop culture obsessed and go in stages of shows that
Uh-huh.
I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
I was, and this is crazy because I've never been, honestly, never been into a Marvel thing ever. Like, I really have not been a
Yeah.
Marvel type of person. I appreciate Marvel. I've just not been someone who follows it very heavily, but I was so into Agatha all along, and I just found it so fun. It was like one of those shows that I had to watch every week the night it came out.
Yeah.
So I was very into that. My guilty pleasures are The Housewives, and I cannot wait for Beverly Hills to come back because
Yeah.
that's the one that I'm the most invested in. And I did just watch. You probably wouldn't like this if you don't like horror stuff, but because it
Okay.
was so horror heavy. I did watch Grotesquerie, which was a Ryan Murphy show, and it was so dark, but the acting
Yeah.
was so incredible. Um, so yeah, I watch as much as I can, when I
Yeah.
can. I'm watching Somebody Somewhere, as I said.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried watching Grotesquerie and everybody in it was so talented, but I could only get through half of the first episode. And I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
really
oh,
brutal.
yeah, I was like, as talented as everybody is in this, I can't.
Yeah, sometimes we've got to make boundaries for ourselves.
Yeah.
It was a hard one to watch for sure.
Yeah.
I did like watch some of it through one eye because it was a little
Mm.
creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I found myself like so many scenes just like covering my eyes, and I
Yeah.
watched it with my mom and I was like, tell me when it's over.
Yeah, yeah. It was really dark. but
Yeah.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So what is the greatest lesson you have learned from a character you've played?
I feel like playing Howard Morris on Only Murders in the Building has taught me uh, about tenacity. You know, he's a character that has basically in real life, the character was only supposed to be in 2 episodes, and now I'm a series regular. So like
Yeah.
that kind of teaches you what I needed to learn from Howard, and I sort of just like kept showing up,
Yeah.
kept inserting myself into that world, and
Yeah.
and like Howard tries so hard to become part of the group, and he so deeply wants to be accepted by the trio, and even when they aren't particularly kind to him, he just dusts
Yeah.
himself off, gets back up, and keeps trying. And it's now starting to work in the show. He's starting to be part of their world and starting to be more involved in the investigations. And I feel like there's some parallel between Howard and I. I mean, the trio is always so nice to me, so that's the difference, I would say. But playing that character who's so fun to play, and I love him so much, I have learned how to be tenacious and sort of pick myself up and keep going for my dream. That's what I would say.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I am so happy that, yeah, Howard has now become more a part of the series because he's one of my favorite
Oh, I'm
characters.
so glad.
So,
I'm
yeah.
glad.
So if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
These questions are so good.
Thank you.
I would say, is prone to sweating. Please stand back. Does cry on command. Sometimes can't control it. That's what I think it would say.
I like that.
Thanks. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Um, so do you have a go-to show or movie that you watch when you just want to escape and be comforted?
Yeah. I have movies. There's a few movies that I like are my comfort movies. They would be Clue, which I mentioned before, one of the greatest movies ever, I think. Death Becomes Her, the original Beetlejuice. They're like all like sort of like very broad comedies that I just love so much. And then there's some dramas that I really love, like Heavenly Creatures, Hillary and Jackie, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Like those movies, all those movies I could watch anytime, any part, any time of the day. But if I'm really, really dark or if I really need a pick
Oh, I think your sound just cut out.
off, hold on.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening. It was like something happened to my mic. Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
sorry, what were you saying?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Oh, I was talking about so all of those movies. If I'm really down or I'm really dark or I really need to pick me up, it's Clue or Death Becomes Her by far. Those are the two movies that cheer me up more than anything. Very quotable, very comforting. Remind me of a simpler time. I love those two movies.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a whole list of shows and movies that I just rotate between constantly.
What's your number? Do you have a number one? Like, what would be the number one movie that you comfort watch?
Um, I there's so many. One of them is definitely there's a rom-com called Home Again.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah,
I'm
that
in that.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, don't
I
be sorry. I'm in it for 2 seconds. When my mom saw it, she's like, Michael, I didn't think you were in it because you came in like so late in the movie and you were in it for 3 seconds. And I was like, I know, but I was in it. That's the Reese Witherspoon one with those three guys. They're so great.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
a nice movie.
yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, completely.
Oh my gosh, don't be sorry. You just like I just love that you like it.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times. It's one of my all-time favorites.
honestly, if you blink during that movie, you will forget that I'm in it. So I don't blame you for not remembering. But I do. I like that movie a lot too. Candice Bergen's so good in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that guy. There's a guy. The one John Radinsky who's in
yeah,
it. He's. We keep ending up being in these small indie movies together, but not being able to have. We don't have scenes together, but we're always like we've just done two movies together in the past 6 months. But we don't get to
yeah.
do any scenes together, which is a bummer because he was a really nice guy. I really like him.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, he is actually now a good friend of mine.
Really? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's a
Yeah,
good guy.
he is. Yeah, I interviewed him. I've interviewed him and Pico Alexander.
Oh, Pico.
Um
Yeah, he's
yeah,
so nice.
yeah. Yeah, and I also interviewed Lake Bell and Reed Scott.
Oh,
Um
wow.
and so, yeah, so every one of them I talked about that movie with. And yeah, John and I still keep in touch. And I actually saw him the last time he was in Denver.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
yeah,
It's a small world. It's a really small
yeah,
world, isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've lost track how many times I've seen that. I just put it on whenever I need a pick me up.
Oh, nice. Oh,
So,
that's good.
yeah. Yeah. So what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Hmm. That's a good question. That I was homecoming king. I think that's surprising to me as well. But I was homecoming king in my high school. Doesn't mean that high school was like super easy for me, but I did end up being the homecoming king, which was an honor and a pleasure, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are very surprised by that because I'm not your prototype sort of homecoming king.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At my school I never really I went to a couple dances, but I never went to most of them because they were just too overwhelming and
Yeah.
too loud.
Yeah.
Um, so I ended up not going to most of them, but the ones I did go to were fun, even though they were very overwhelming.
Yeah, I found them very overwhelming as well, which is why people are surprised I was the homecoming king.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, the one that spoke to me is, "Oh, you have it all wrong. I was never the damsel in distress, darling, I'm the wolf." Is there a
That is a
quote?
good quote.
Yeah.
Where is that from?
I,
What is that from?
I actually don't know. I found it on Instagram and I
That is a
just,
really good quote.
yeah, I found it and just that is my new favorite quote. So,
Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
yeah.
Um, I'm
Is
trying to think.
there a quote that has inspired you lately?
Like I said, the one that Bridget uses all the time, dreams just don't have deadlines, is one that I think about a lot. Um, and um, that's a hard one. I can't think of one off the top of my head to be honest. I think that dreams don't have deadlines is the one that's like the most
Yeah.
inspiring to me right now.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
like
love that.
also the thing of what will be.
Oh,
That's like
yeah.
a very. I don't necessarily believe that, but um, sometimes I do think like what will be will be. Yeah, everything will be, or everything will be all right.
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yours is
Yeah.
better though. Yours is better.
Well, you can have that one. You can use
Thank you.
it.
I'm gonna take that as mine
Yeah.
now. This new quote, my new favorite quote is
Yeah. 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 Um, well, that was my final question for you.
Oh
Um,
no, I'm having so much
and
fun.
me too. I just want to keep talking to
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome to keep talking. We have a couple minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you live in Denver. How did you started this when you were 13?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, yes, I started at the Seacrest Studios at Children's Hospital when they opened. I was there for the opening, and then it was like a year of going into the studio whenever
Wow.
I was at the hospital before I started my own show. And then a year after that, I started interviews.
And was the hospital in Denver as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And now I saw that you transitioned to adult care, and that's when you started the and
Yeah.
so I saw that in the email that that's when you started this YouTube channel.
Yeah. I mean, I already had this YouTube channel. I started it to upload all the interviews I did at Seacrest Studios. But yeah, then I transitioned to yeah, specifically doing interviews for YouTube.
Yeah. Well, you're a great interviewer. Those are such good
Thank
questions. Some of the
you.
best questions I've gotten for real.
Oh, thank you.
Challenging questions too. They're not like easy answers, which I really appreciate. They're
Yeah.
like you have to really think about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so happy that
Yeah, I'm so
you
glad we
liked
could do
the.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Anytime, anytime.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to have you back on whenever you would like.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much again. I've just had the best time talking with you. You've made my day.
Oh, thanks. You made my day. This is such a good way to spend the afternoon.
Yay. Yeah. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye, Maya.
Bye. And that's I'm trying to get the light off me. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.